I'm Abby Kowal with Exposed Sports, and this is the recap week number 5. Let's get started and head out to Denton, where Guyer defeated Keller Central 49-10 to remain undefeated on the season. Keller kept it within 5 in the third quarter, and after 2 interceptions, it looked like the momentum was swinging their way until standout Guyer quarterback Eli Stowers ran one back for 75 yards to go ahead 23-10. From there, Guyer put up 34 unanswered points to end the game with 512 yards. 345 of those were on the ground, with 160 from powerhouse running back Kedrick Cobbs. Seth Metter had 28-yard reception for a touchdown, as well as Travis Romar with 2 TDs from 23 and 28 yards. Guyer is now getting ready for a huge district matchup this week against South Lake Carroll. Out at Williams Stadium, Wiley came out on top over Garland 50-21. Wiley's Seth Kramer started them off with an 8-yard reception from Mason Lang, who totaled 202 yards with 3 touchdowns. Trey Sheffield followed with a 1-yard run and ended with 128 yards on 24 carries in the win. Wiley's defense held the Owls to only 40 rushing yards. For Garland, Jordan Hudson had 2 touchdowns in the second quarter, one from 5 yards and the other from 10 yards, to end with 133 total yards and 11 receptions. Despite quarterback Sergio Perez's 222 yards, Garland still fell short. Euless Trinity held LD Bell to only 7 points in the 42-7 victory on Thursday night. Euless came out strong in their first district matchup, as 5 different players scored touchdowns for the Trojans in the win. LD Bell got their one score of the night on a Christian Gaddison 5-yard run, but couldn't keep the momentum. Jason Valmoto put Trinity on the board in the first quarter with a 2-yard run and would end with 2 TDs. Those who scored for Trinity were AJ Barnett, Ollie Gordon, Zachariah Moore, and Valentino Foni. Burleson remains perfect on the season after the 45-27 win over the Arlington Seguin Cougars. The Cougars were the first to make it on the scoreboard with a 25-yard touchdown pass by Davion Bryce to TJ Chuckroy and kept it close until halftime. Right when it looked like they were going to hold on to the lead going into the half, Jackson Winburn had a crazy bobbling catch to take the lead for the Elks. Starting the third quarter down 20-24, the Elks were not going to give up the fight. Only allowing 89 total yards in the second half, the defense held strong, and Skylar Webb tallied his second blocked punt of the night. Senior Caleb Lewis led Burleson with 83 yards on 19 carries, as the Elks remain undefeated at 5-0 overall and 3-0 in district play, and are getting ready for the Battle of the Boot against their rival Centennial. In a convincing win, DeSoto defeated Mansfield Lake Ridge 63-28. DeSoto remains undefeated after the win against Mansfield Lake Ridge on Friday night. DeSoto got on the board quick with a 65-yard run by Jason Brown to get things started and would go up 28-7 in the first quarter. When it started to look like a blowout, Lake Ridge receiver Codis Martin caught a 40-yard pass by Joshua Bowie for a touchdown. Right after, they recovered the onside kick and got the ball back to score on a turbo 42-yard reception for a TD to make it 28-21. In the last play of the first half, DeSoto hands the ball off to Jason Brown, while Lake Ridge was in prevent defense for a 50-yard touchdown run as time ran out to go up 49-28. They would score 2 more times in the second half to take the win 63-28. Brown rushed for 290 yards and had 3 touchdowns on the night, as quarterback Samari Collier added 208 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Lake Ridge wide receiver Turbo had 159 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns, as quarterback Adrian Hawkins had 285 total yards and 3 passing TDs. After a slow start, Duncanville remains undefeated after their victory over Richardson Berkner. After a pair of intercepted passes in the first half, Duncanville powered through in a 42-0 victory over Berkner. The Panthers' Roderick Daniels started things off strong with a pair of TDs, one 66 yards and another 68-yard run to put Duncanville ahead early. He finished with 101 yards on the game. Cameron Gray added 124 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns, and quarterback Jaquindon Jackson finished with 140 yards and 2 scores. Flower Mound Marcus dominated in the 60-0 win over the Irving Tigers. Tyson Edwards quickly got things going for Marcus with a 13-yard reception from Garrett Nussmeyer, and they didn't slow down from there. After a successful 2-point conversion, Marcus had the lead 32-0 at the end of the first half. Edwards was added again in the third quarter with a 69-yard run and would finish with 228 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nussmeier threw for 152 yards and had 2 passing touchdowns on 14 of 17 completions. In a 35-14 victory, Mesquite Horn defeated Mesquite on Friday night. With a slow start to the game, both teams went into halftime sitting at 7-7. Horn's offense came alive in the second half, though only allowing Mesquite to get on the board one more time. Finn Wyatt scored twice in a row with a 2-yard run, and then another 11-yard run to take the lead 21-7. The only Mesquite touchdown of the second half was a 4-yard run by Dylan Hilliard McGill in the third quarter. In the fourth, Horn put up 2 more TDs to leave with that 35-14 victory. Those are your Week 5 recaps. Where would you guys like to see us out next week? Let's go ahead and jump right into the top plays of the week. In our number 10 spot, Seguin's TJ Chuckraw with a 30-yard reception from Xavion Bryce. Number 9, Euless quarterback Valentino Foni with a 56-yard run for a touchdown. Jaquindon Jackson's 66-yard pass to wide receiver Roderick Daniels will give the Duncanville duo the number 8 spot this week. Roderick Daniels is added again at number 6 for his 68-yard run for Duncanville. Lake Ridge quarterback Adrian Hawkins passes 166 yards to wide receiver Tamarin Duro and will take the number 5 spot. At number 4, Jason Brown with a nice 65-yard run for the DeSoto Eagles. And now for your top 3 plays, Tyson Edwards will start us off with a nice 69-yard run for Marcus. Denton Geyer quarterback Eli Stowers will lock in the number 2 spot with a 75-yard touchdown run. And in the number 1 spot for Week 4, Jason Brown is added again with a 50-yard run for DeSoto in the last play of the half. Do you think you deserve a spot in the top 10 plays? Make sure to comment below and let us know. Let's get right into our players of the week, starting with defensive player Junior Shamar Turner. The DeSoto defensive end caused problems for Lake Ridge all night doing what he does best, putting up 6 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 sacks. No surprise here that DeSoto running back Jason Brown is the offensive player of the week. With 292 rushing yards on 16 carries and 3 touchdowns, he helped lead DeSoto in the 63-28 victory over Mansfield Lake Ridge. This will now get him 511 yards with 4 touchdowns on the season. And last but not least, underclassman of the week will go to sophomore Jordan Hudson. The Garland standout had 11 receptions for 133 yards and 2 touchdowns on the night, which will put him 4th in receiving yards with 606 and 2nd in receiving touchdowns with 11 in the DFW area. Those are your players of the week, and don't forget, if you think you deserve that spot, let us know. Now let's jump right into the upcoming games of the week. Coming off their first loss of the season, Mesquite is set to face Rockwall Heath this Friday in a district matchup. Rockwall Heath, who is sitting at 3-2 on the season, is looking to take another one away from Mesquite. Quarterback Josh Hoover has thrown for over 1,600 yards and has 17 touchdowns, and will not be slowing down anytime soon. With running back Zach Evans and wide receiver Jaden Jones behind him, the offense will be ready to put up some points. On the other end, Mesquite's Dylan Hilliard McGill has proven to be a solid quarterback this season with 592 yards and 4 TDs. He will have the support of fellow teammates Ladarius Turner and Jadarian Smith, as well as a defense that has only allowed 14 points per game. A huge matchup of the undefeated is in store for Friday night as the Denton Geyer Wildcats will face the Southlake Carroll Dragons at Denton's C.H. Collins Athletic Complex. Both teams coming in at 4-0 will battle it out in this district matchup. Carroll's Quinn Ewers has over 1,000 yards on the season and will go head-to-head with Texas A&M commit Eli Stowers for Denton. Players to watch are standout Geyer running back Kadrick Cobbs, who has 698 yards thus far, and Seth Metter out at wide receiver. For the Dragons, Jack Abram will prove to be a threat at running back and John Monero at receiver. This will be a game you definitely will not want to miss, so if your Friday night is free, make sure you head out to Denton and watch this showdown. That was the recap week number 5. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow, and always let us know what you're thinking. We'll see you guys next week.